Anybody who's watching our show knows judicial season is very much in the offing, and we're doing our best to present to you as many candidates as we possibly can who are running for judge to give you a fair idea of what's going on. And it is a pleasure to introduce you to a candidate for judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County, Kevin Cunningham. Kevin, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Avi.
First of all, thank you, and he's got a great handshake. And of course, I want to thank Sonny Hirsch. And tell us about your background.
Well, my background is I live on the southwest side of the city. I'm 46 years old. I'm a father of 3. I've been practicing. It'll be in April. It'll be 20 years. I started off, my first job was with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. I worked there for 6 years. I started off in appeals, then I went to the traffic court division. Finally, I was assigned out south to the Markham Courthouse, where I worked my way through to the felony trial division. In 1998, I left the State's Attorney's Office. I went to a 2-man practice in Oak Forest, where I was responsible for doing all the trial work. And I stayed there for 3 years. Then I opened up my own practice in Oak Lawn, where I still am. I'm the Oak Lawn Village prosecutor, and I run a solo practitioner. I'm a solo practitioner, and I have just a general practice firm. I go to divorce court, civil court, criminal court, and I do a lot of municipal work for the Village of Oak Lawn.
Pretty well-rounded. Where did you go to college?
Eastern Illinois.
Eastern Illinois. I don't think I've heard Eastern Illinois from anybody on the show yet.
Charleston, Illinois.
Very good. So what made you decide you wanted to become a judge?
I just felt like it was time. I think I'm driven in this way where, when I was with the State's Attorney's Office, I always wanted to move up. When I was with the 2-man firm, I always wanted to, run my own firm. Now I run my own firm, and I've been doing that for a long time. I'm well-rounded. I'm ready to move up, and for me, the next stage in moving up, then my practice would be to become judge.
Very good. And this is the first time you're campaigning?
First time, yes, sir.
And how are you finding it?
I enjoy the campaign trail. I'll tell you, I ran into 2 of my grammar school teachers out on the campaign trail. I had an old friend of my mom and dad's who used to live on the south side by us, who moved to the north side. She's a police officer. When she found out I got the FOP endorsement, she started following me on Facebook. We had a fundraiser that she saw on Facebook and knew she'd be in the neighborhood that night and just came walking in. I haven't seen her in 20 years. These are the kinds of things that happen when you're out on the campaign trail. I had a guy I went to kindergarten with showed up at one of my fundraisers.
Wow.
So there's just surprises that are out there all the time while you're out on the trail. So it's hard work, it's tiring, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, how many events do you go to at an average night?
In an average night, 2 if you can pull it off.
Yeah.
A lot of times 1, but every day there's something to do.
Wow. So that's a very busy schedule. Plus, you're married?
Yes, yes.
And children?
3, 14, 12, and 8.
Busy guy.
Yes.
Okay, so now judges have to campaign differently than regular politicians. You can't get on a soapbox and promise people 40 acres and a mule.
Right.
So what can you say and and how does that work?
Well, I talk about my bar ratings. I talk about the diversity of my practice so that voters can know that I'm well-rounded and ready to do it. I talk about how long I've been practicing. I was also the president of the Southwest Bar Association.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, prior to that, vice president, treasurer, I held all those offices. So, I let them know that, I'm involved, in my legal community when I'm not working. I also coach Little League Baseball in my own community when I'm not working. So I let people know that I'm a well-rounded individual in terms of, my community and also my practice.
Is there any particular, most people, once they become judge, they start out in traffic court. Do you have any preference necessarily where you might wind up eventually?
I don't. I mean, it's a little far removed because I'm not elected yet, but I wouldn't mind starting out at traffic court because that's really where I kind of got started with the State's Attorney's Office. So there'd be some symmetry to my practices, and I'd be real comfortable there. I do a lot of that traffic and ordinance prosecution for the Village of Oak Lawn, so it'd be a real nice transition for me. And then I think my diversity lets me be ready wherever the court system would need me, and I would serve in that way. I don't think I'd ask to go anywhere.
Interesting. I actually haven't gotten a traffic ticket for a very long time, but I know it's not quite the same. In the old days, if you showed up with the lawyer, the judge would take mercy on you. You were taken off work and you were off.
Yeah, right. And they had no court costs back then, so even if you were found guilty, they could give you a $0 fine and you'd walk out the door, you wouldn't know anything.
Yeah, now most people are walking out with the minimum of some kind of...
It's $165 with a zero fine and just court costs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a car anymore, and I think I'm going to keep it that way. Well, actually, I do have to rent cars occasionally. Oh, and I didn't even mention Jewish Chicago's on the street. You can check it out on the web. If you go to Sonny Hirsch's website, ntnm.org. So anyway, we've got about a minute and a half to go. What would you like to tell us? Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm enjoying the campaign trail. We're 34 days out now from the election. Yeah. So we're starting to kick things up a notch. I'm going to train stations, I'm going to churches, I'm going out every single day trying to get my word out. And I just want to end by complimenting you, because the one thing that I've come across with all the voters is that they're all thirsty to get information about judges. There's a big void as far as that information goes, and you're doing what you can to fill that void with this program, and you should be applauded for that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, it's unfortunate that 40% of the people, first of all, not enough people vote, not enough people are registered. Then those who vote, 40% of them skip the judicial side. This time around, why not start from the bottom and work your way up from there? So
that would work, and there's a lot of judicial candidates on the ballot this time around, so it'd be a great year to do that.
There very much are, and there's an awful lot of races, so there's a lot to do homework. And, you know, even if you can't get, you know, the Jewish Chicago, you know, nearby, if it's gone from the store or whatever else, you can get it online at ntnm.org. It's there in its entirety. Every single thing is a mirror for mirror the same thing as the publication that'll be out on the street. I'm sure you've got a website and a contact information?
I do. My contact information is kevin@electkevincunningham.com. electkevincunningham.com is the website. I'm also on Facebook as Kevin Cunningham, candidate for Circuit Court Judge.
So Kevin Cunningham, candidate for Circuit Court Judge, like the Facebook page says. Thank you so much for being here. I want to wish you good luck on the campaign trail and all the best.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.